Hi, I am Dheeraj Jain, aka The Algo, your host for today. You are listening to the Techlitical Podcast, the show where we talk about different technologies, placements, communities, and much more. Welcome to the fourth episode of our season 2, where we are going to talk with Akanshi Srivastava, who is a product engineer at Gojek. And for all of you who don't know about what Gojek is, it is a super app. It's one app which can be used for ordering food, commuting, digital payments, shopping, hyper-local delivery, and a dozen other products. Apart from this, Akanshi is also actively working for the upliftment of women in technology and is a part of multiple technical communities. Welcome, Akanshi, to the Techlitical Podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I really appreciate that.
Hi, Dheeraj. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited for this.
So, Akanshi, please tell us something about yourself.
Okay, so basically, I'm working at Gojek as a product engineer in Android in the UX engineering team. And talking about communities, I think I've been a part of communities ever since I started college. I was a member of Code Chef, IEEE and I joined GDG eventually. And I also met you in Creation Lab, so that was fun. And I really picked up a lot on women communities, especially after I became the Women Tech Makers lead in VIT. And I realized how important it is to highlight the topic of women empowerment right now, especially in tech. So, this is something that has been going on since then. I've focused a lot on it. And I think apart from my work, this is something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm still continuing that.
Yeah, so how are you managing time in your professional life? And still, I see you are contributing to the community. There's a talk coming in the Dev Fest as well, where you'll be explaining of an application development.
Yeah, so I think this has never been an issue for me because I've been always very excited to work with community, especially when events are coming up. And this is also like a different kind of a thrill that you have, that okay, you have to make it a success. And if you relate yourself to a community as something that you become a member of it, you want to contribute and give your best to it because you have learned so much out of it as well. So I think this never becomes an issue in that case. And personally for me, I think if I have grown to say a particular level, I'll give 70-80% of the credit to it, to the communities. So I have no trouble taking out time for it. And talking practically in a day, I don't do this every day. I especially like to take out times during the weekends or sometimes a few hours during the weekdays after I'm done with work. So it's pretty manageable. It's not like you have to give all your hours or give everything to it all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty great to hear. Like whatever you have got from the community, you are trying to give it back, and that's very good, actually. So one more thing I had in my mind, how do you think like women communities they are helping the women to grow in technology?
So you must have seen a lot of events and lot of competitions and stuff that keep coming, especially for women. So women actually, it's like for a very long time, this has been ensured that a lot of women don't take up, especially from the younger age, don't take up subjects in STEM. So this has led to lesser number of women actually opting for opportunities, say in IT or say in more job centric to your STEM. So now I think these companies and these communities who work for women are trying to get more attention towards this. That this issue has been an underlying issue for a very long time, and this needs focus. And secondly, this is what I think is our role as well as a community member to ensure that women are given equal opportunities and they are given the chance to understand these things. Like already we have a very few number of women coming ahead. So like imagine if you're already in a very disbalanced ratio, and after that you have to face a lot of criticism. There's already a lot of stereotypes going on, So they don't really help you grow if you just cling on to it, and it's not very difficult to face them. But this is something that needs to be told. So I think that is something that the communities and these women centric events are trying to focus on, that you can overcome these challenges and actually become an equal member in the IT sector, or in the sector whatever you're interested in.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. So one question I'd like to ask you, as you have been to multiple hackathons as well, so how do you think these hackathons play a role in the development of a college student or as a professional?
So I think it's very important to understand the value of problem solving and implementing it. So when you're like, say if you're part of a community, what is the best thing that you like find there? Like, you always have a vivid group of friends, right? Like maybe you gel up on some sports, or maybe you talk a lot about some shows or something, and that's how you become friends. But when you talk about communities, it's like all the people with your similar interest in this field are together. So you actually get to make friends in that field. You can go for hackathons together, you can go for any events, you can organize things like this together, like you can have your own podcast together. So I think especially when we're talking about hackathons here, when you go for a hackathon, when you have a set of people you go to a hackathon with, you're all there with a one focus, that you want to just solve a particular problem. And there I think having different mindsets also help in finding different angles of the solution. But since you also have a common ground to help the implementation, I think that really helps in getting a result out of it. And secondly, it's not about just winning the hackathon. If you go and if you lose, or if you think that you won't be able to make anything that might be a good solution, or maybe a solution at all, I think it's a different experience in its own. Like, you get to see how many ways are there to solve a problem. There are ways that you might have never even imagined. So to just sit and listen to others pitch is also like another thing that I personally really enjoy. That you listen to different ideas, you listen to how people are implementing it, and you can always take inspiration, right? So I think that is how I find hackathons to be very important for me. And I think that is something that should be encouraging enough to go to a hackathon, that you just go, and even if you don't want to be a participant, you can just always go as a witness, and especially not do the entire event, then obviously any time to the final pitch.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up everything. So, can you give our audience some suggestions, like which women hackathons they should participate in? Because you have been to CHAC, you won CHAC. So, do you have some kind of platform where you get those women-centric events listed in one place?
I think right now we don't have any such platforms. Like, I don't think we have any good platforms to show all the hackathons happening across the world or the country anyway. So talking specifically about women hackathons, I don't think there's a very specific platform as such, but I would suggest that you become a part of as many communities as possible. So for instance, I was a part of Women Techmakers back in college, and I got to know about a lot of hackathons through it. I was a part of a Google Developers Group, so now DSC. So that really helped me, expose myself to all these opportunities, to all the different events and hackathons that were happening. And especially after coming out of college, when you're not in a circle where everybody is talking about these things, it is more important to be even more active in these things. So I actually joined Girls Script Bangalore after that, after getting out of college. It's been almost 2 years now. And I was an organizer for a year. I became the graphics team lead after that. And I'm still continuing. So it's like I am now exposed to another vertical. And similarly, I joined Women Tech Network and Women Who Code. So they also have their own events and stuff coming up. And the best part is you get to meet a lot of like-minded people. You actually get a chance to network with all these people. You get to hear their stories. And I think it's very important, especially when we talk about I have been working towards this journey of getting more women into tech for a very long time. And I found that the major issues that people have been facing are that they don't feel confident enough, or they feel like that they're not good enough for the IT world, or to, or they have even the basic knowledge to get going, or maybe just attend or participate or actually even understand a word. So I think that nobody is actually good at anything at all. Like, we are all bad at everything at some point. But if you're like really interested, and if it interests you, you have to just move past all the negativities that come your way. That's like people are going to throw at you all the time. It still happens with me. Like, I'm a part of so many things, but it still happens at me sometimes that these negative things take a toll on me. But it's on to me that I put these things aside and I just move forward to what my ultimate goal is. And that is to learn new stuff, that is to give back to my community and to become as active as possible. So it's not just about participating and stuff. Even if you're like a member, you're an active member who networks, who get to hear all these stories, who get to get the inspiration from everyone, I think that is more than enough. And talking about platforms, if you're a part of communities like this, you'll always see people sharing about different hackathons that are happening, different events that are happening. And once you become active enough, you will actually get a lot of opportunities to become a part of it. So, like for example, this DevFest opportunity was given to me through Women Tech Makers, and before that I was also a speaker in International Women's Day event. So that was also an opportunity that was given to me by WTM. And in case of IWD, I was also working along the team in organizing the event. So it was really fun that you were organizing such a thing on such a huge level, and I did not have like a lot of experience in it. So it is true that whatever you're going to try, there's always going to be a first time. So I think you don't have to worry much about not having enough experience or still waiting on someone pinging you about the perfect opportunity. That is not ever going to happen. So I think it's better that you just go ahead and take every opportunity that comes your way. Like, I would suggest not skipping just an opportunity because you feel that okay, something better might come your way. And I can assure you that whatever comes your way, if you're like participating, always something will happen that will lead to a butterfly effect and will eventually help you do good and learn a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Interest and the urge to do thing, that only matters, and you need to go to that person and ping him or get the details. So whatever Akanshi told, like she's actually a perfect example of a community member. She took from the community, she is giving it back, and she was the WTM lead of Velour as well. So Akanshi, we see like many companies, they have started the women-centric programs. Amazon has its WOW, then Google has this WTM. So these movements, they are gaining momentum. So how long will it take to see the results? But because as you told that still we have very less percentage of women in technology. So
Yeah.
do you actually think that these programs are helping, or just if it is just like the company has a program but it is not helping that much?
So first of all, talking about how you said I was the perfect example, I think I would not consider that. Like, I see lots of people who are lot better example, but I try to do whatever I can from my end, and I would like to just contribute in my best way possible. And secondly, now coming to the topic of the companies and how they are trying to implement this equality in the company. So these programs are basically focused to ensure that there are more women. And talking about actually seeing the effect of I'll just talk about a very basic thing, that if we don't have enough women, so no amount of programs can ever ensure that equality. So say for example, if there's a group of 100 people, out of which only 20 are women, and then you say that all the 100 people are going to, and only those 100 people are there, and there are like four or five companies, and each company want 10 girls, 10 boys, 10 girls, 10 boys, then that is not possible, right? Because after two companies, the third companies and on are going to never be able to maintain that ratio because you don't have that many women in that field. So this is a very root level problem that I think from the beginning itself, now things have changing, like things are starting to change already. But I think for a very long time, this has been that not a very a very big focus has gone to these things, and we try to ignore the problem until it becomes so important that it's a compulsion that you have to maintain a ratio. And then you're like, okay, now we'll have to organize something to get women in our companies so that at least we are following the norms, but the root level problem is still existing. So first of all, I think the mindsets of the people need to change, that they maintain a better ratio from the beginning itself. And talking about the programs that the company leads, it's like if you're in a company, like if you're a member inside, then you'll be able to notice that these programs do have some impact. For instance, I got hired in my company due to the women hackathon. So Gojek organized SheHack, and at that time I was not looking for a switch. I just participated in a hackathon, and my senior manager now was the judge, one of the judges, and he approached me after the hackathon. So that was a very a random thing to happen to me. Like, I was not looking for a job opportunity there. I just went there as a participant, and I think we had a few teams, and every team had like a couple of members and so. And I just showed up there randomly, and I was the only one in my team. And from the beginning itself, it was like, okay, now I don't know what to do. I just had a solution in mind, and I just wanted to implement it. I did not think about having the perfect pitch or having the perfect end to the hackathon. I just thought about working on my solution, and that I actually ended up well. So that is how I got into my company. So this was also a result of a women-centric event. And I've heard a lot of people talk about how it's unfair for men that these events are there, and then they are not getting the equal opportunity now because their jobs have been taken away by women. And I think it's more about your small, like for them, for some people, it's about their ego getting hurt, that some other gender or some other people are given some more opportunities. But I think it's really high time that we do this. And not just that, I've also seen a lot of men who are very active in these communities, who have realized that this is an issue, and they work very actively to make this equality happen. So when we talk about these events, it's very important that we encourage as many people as possible. And if not entirely, we have already started to see some effect in the companies. And I think it's very important that you're surrounded by people who are like so supportive of this cause. And when you do go into a company who is starting or who is hiring through these causes or through these events, I think it actually is like you're going into some place where people understand that this was an issue, or this is an issue that they need to tackle. So that's a very good environment to begin with, instead of people who try to ignore and think that this is not an issue and this is just some privilege that women are getting. So I think this is a very good start, where you can just be surrounded by people, like-minded people who understand the issue and who are there to help you and push you forward.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on all this. Like, I have heard some men talking about these things, that they're not getting equal opportunities and women are grabbing opportunities, and even for placements there is some quota, there are some specific competitions running. But it's actually not that case, as we heard from Akanshi. Like, what is the root level problem that is being faced by our industry? So Akanshi, what advice would you like to give a school level student? First, I'd like to know about, like, what advice would you like to give to a school level girl who is interested in computer science? So how should she proceed? Because eventually we see that parents, even they force us to stay home in like villages or in some cities as well. They don't allow their girl child to go out and work in big companies and get a good education in colleges. So how should she build her communication with her parents and still learn and then improve on her career?
So I think when you're still a student, it's very important to understand and realize that your interest. So it's not a crime that you don't choose STEM. So or you choose STEM. Either way, it's not a crime that you have to make a decision because the society wants you to. I think the decision should be entirely yours. And like if you're like if you ever feel like you're too young to understand these things, I think you should just go with the interest, that what subjects interest you, what topics interest you. If it's even remotely related to one of the fields, you can go ahead with that. And I have a similar advice for parents and guardians who support them, even the teachers, that if you see that there are students who are interested in a particular field, or even they show remotely some interest into it, you should help them like take up that field, even if they're getting some resistance from the family. Then you should, as a teacher or a guardian, just talk to the family members, explain how there are multiple opportunities now, and like they can always go ahead and create a career in that. And talking about my experience back when I was in school, I think I started coding when I was in class 9, and I was already participating in informatics Olympiad. So I was basically a little interested in the field. And when I was in class 11, I took up computer science as a subject along with my science subjects. So first of all, I really am thankful to my teacher. Like, she is so amazing. She just taught everything so much in detail and with an understanding. So we did not just learn stuff, we actually understood everything. So yeah, coming back to this, I think you should take up these topics from the beginning if you're interested. And secondly, I remember participating in competitions back in school itself. I went for a few coding competitions. I actually created an IT club back in class 11th, I remember. So we used to do this, that we used to mentor other students or juniors who were interested in coding. I did not realize this, but now when I think about it, I feel that maybe I should have encouraged a few more girls to jump in, because that club also was majorly comprised by all the boys. But yeah, like all that is in the past now. But I think it's important that you pick up on your interest and you take it. You actually try to understand in depth about all this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much interesting. You just build a own community of yourself in school life only.
Yeah, I wasn't realizing what I was doing, but yeah, I would have changed a lot of things now that I think about it. But I'm glad that I was able to create a small impact, though.
So, for a college level student, what are some of the communities that are actively working and that can help college girl grow in tech? So, can you just name a few of them that will be very helpful for our audience?
Sure, definitely. So, top of my head, definitely it's Women Tech Makers by Google. So they have a lot of opportunities. Then we have Girls Script. So Girl Script runs within our country, and it was founded by one of the people here in India. So I think if you are part of these communities, like these are some communities which focus a lot on college level growth itself. Like they have a lot of scholarship programs, both of them, and like you can apply for them. You can start networking, start joining online meetups. Especially now that we have everything online, I think you don't have any restriction on attending any meetups. They're all happening, over your streaming or over your online Zoom or video conferencing platforms. So I think you can join those communities. And if you want to be active in knowing about what all is happening, you should follow them on social handles. And I am a member of Women Tech Network and Women Who Code. So you can also become a member of groups like these that can help you, also expand your horizons and understanding of how a community works. And if you ever come across any other amazing community, please do reach out to me. I would love to become a part of that with you. And if you feel like you're just trying to become a part of our community and you're alone and you don't find someone and you're feeling a little intimidated or anything, please feel free to reach out. I don't have a problem stepping in with you. And I think, yeah, that is something that is on top of my head right now. But I think you can always find other opportunities in a lot of places. And talking about hiring processes though and hackathons, I think platforms like Hacker Earth do have a lot of women centric events going on. So I think you should also check that out. Like, you'll find some hackathons which are focusing on hiring women in a particular company. So I think that might also help you, grab on some events that are happening around women empowerment and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much useful. So I like that fact that you are quite enthusiastic. Like, you still want to join more communities. You are telling, like, if you get to know more about some communities, just ping me. I'll be sure.
Like, I'm really interested, and if you are interested in co-founding or whatever, I'm like happy to contribute. So this is a cause that I feel strongly about. So I don't think I'm ever very lazy about it. I always super enthusiastic about it. So like, I'm always looking forward to opportunities like this. Yeah.
Yeah, so you must have seen, like, communities, they play a very important role. So Akanshi is a very good example of that, how she is giving to the community what she has got, and even the job in which she is on, she got it from a hackathon that was organized by Gojek. And we have other episodes as well where we have talked in depth about how this communities, they create an impact on college students. So please go and hear out those episodes as well for a better understanding. So Akanshi, anything else that you want to add here?
I think I just have a small piece of advice, and it just goes for everyone, not just for women. That if you're interested in something, I think you should always take the risks. So people tend to not do that once they are in their comfort zone. But I think if you do, always some better opportunity is going to come your way. And be a part of more communities and stay active. Even if you don't feel like participating, just be there as a viewer and see what's going on. It will help you stay updated. They'll help you with new opportunities. They can help you become someone else's opportunity, like to help, someone else can benefit from your knowledge. And I think knowledge only increases when you share. So I don't see any fallback or a drawback to that. But I personally just feel that don't worry about what others are saying or what others feel, and just focus on what you feel, and whatever you feel strongly about is something that you should support. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. This has been like absolutely fantastic talking with you and getting insights about women-centric communities and about how you are managing stuffs.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj. This has been a pleasure. And even outside this podcast, ever if you feel like, or if you feel like anyone who's interested in reaching out and feel that I can help you out with something, please feel free to. And I think this podcast is going to be like really helpful for a lot of young women who are trying to start in tech.
That is it for this episode of Techlitical. Feel free to reach out to us on social media. We are active on all our social handles. Thank you for tuning in to the Techlitical. See you all in our next episode.